being off.
Does anyone have any injuries, ailments, anything I should know about? Oh, is that an actual injury? Is that a shoulder thing or is that
No, it's the salon pass. It's just from pickleball. It's
Okay.
fine. It's just muscle.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get into it. All right, you can just down to your mat. Hopefully Leah finds her way back to the class after her technical fault too. Welcome. Make yourself feel comfortable. This is a nervous system reset class. So it's going to be very grounding and a real coming home into your body, coming home to yourself kind of a practice, hopefully allowing you to get really nice and internalized. Make sure you have all props available so that you can support yourself however needed throughout the entire practice. All right, so sitting comfortably, move the flesh away from your sitting bones. Place your hands on your lap wherever they feel comfortable. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, consciously drop your shoulders down away from your ears, closing down at the eyes if you like. And just settling in, noticing the sounds around you. Noticing the air temperature. And tuning into the feeling of your clothes resting on your body. And then begin to relax into your legs. Relax into your hips. Soften into your belly, your chest, and your shoulders. Relax your arms, wrists, and hands. Soften into your face. And just for a few breaths, visualizing your breath traveling up and down your spine. And bringing your awareness to your breath and its natural journey in and out of your nose, following the journey of your breath all the way down into the lower lobes of your lungs. And as you exhale, just having some gentle awareness of it leaving your lungs and exiting your nose. Just taking one more nice full deep breath. And from here we'll move into some Goranga breathing. So continuing that same full cycle of your breath. And as you inhale, in your mind's eye, in your silently to yourself, so visualizing and auditorially hearing the sound Goranga entering into your mind. And as you exhale, actually saying it out loud for the entire length of your exhalation. So let's sync our breath and exhale completely. Take a breath in and say the sound Goranga. Continuing on for another few rounds. Inhale. Goranga. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Goranga. Goranga. And relax into your regular breathing pattern, allowing the effects of the mantra to resonate through your mind and heart. And releasing your hands to the floor and coming over onto all fours. Making sure that you've got your props close by. Stacking your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. Taking it nice and easy, starting with small movements, moving with your breath. Inhale, tilting your pelvis forward, looking forward. Exhaling, tucking your tailbone and drawing your chin in toward your chest. Inhale, looking forward, lengthening through your spine. Exhaling, taking it back in the opposite direction. And letting it be completely your own tempo, your own movement. Closing your eyes if you like, making it feel all nice and yummy. I think the thing that makes it feel yummy is the permission for it to be very soft and relaxed. Not necessarily follow too many rules. You can psychologically relax and let your body be nice and soft. One more time each way. And return back to a neutral spine. Grabbing either a couple of blocks or a bolster. We are going to go into full puppy pose later on, but to start with, in our warm-up section, I'm going to go into a supported puppy pose. So coming down into your forearms, hips stay stacked above your knees. You're just going to soften your forehead to your bolster or your blocks. And just nestle in and relax. If it feels more comfortable, you can turn one of your heads, guys. Turn your head to one side. And then just start to let go into the pose. Trusting just the structure of the pose. Gravity, your center of balance, to hold you in place. Feeling the support of your prop. And turning your head to the other side. Already my body's voting yes, yes, yes. Big vibe. All right, and slowly from here, pressing back into child's pose for a moment. We're just going to slide our bolster forward, still within reach because we're not completely finished with it yet. Coming down into child's pose. And from here, lifting up, now moving into full puppy pose. Taking your time to gradually move into the pose. And if you'd like to use the prop again, go ahead and do the supported version. So walking your hands out, starting with your forearms to the floor. Then dropping your chest, dropping your forehead. Inhale, slightly lift. Then exhale, straighten out through the arms. Now lowering armpits down toward the floor, reaching out into your fingertips. And settling in. So you can go into a very active puppy pose where you're reaching forward into your fingertips, reaching back into your sitting bones, or there's an option there to just hang out in the pose. Let everything be nice and relaxed. Staying with your breath. And one more full deep breath here. And slowly releasing to come back into child's pose. So press down into your palms, lifting through the belly, and then drawing the hips back to the heels. Taking a gentle child's pose just for a couple of breaths. Taking the spine in the opposite direction. And reaching for blocks or bolster again. You're going to take the bolster or your blocks so that it will be nestled under your head when you lift up into downward dog. So let's take our time to come up into downward dog. Do all the things we usually do to stretch out through your legs, your hips. But when it comes to resting in downward dog, we're going to take our head down to the bolster. So walking your hands forward, spreading your fingers and thumbs nice and wide. Tuck your toes, keeping your knees bent, lift up into your hips. And press the floor away, roll your upper arms in toward each other, hug the lower ribs in, scoop the belly, reaching into your sitting bones, and then begin to lift and lower your heels, alternating from side to side. And you might already be feeling your forehead starting to make contact with your bolster. We're going to get there in just a moment. All right, inhale, lifting both heels nice and high, reaching into your sitting bones, press the floor away. Then exhale, head comes in contact with your prop, and lower your heels down toward the mat. So still trying to keep your pose nice and active, but that beautiful nurturing point of contact of your head on your prop just adds an extra little bit of support. Staying here for another couple of breaths. And slowly release. Knees to the floor. Coming back into child's pose, sliding your bolster right out of the way. Bye-bye bolster. Tear. Extending your arms out. Nice big reach into your fingertips, and then walk your hands over to the left. Reaching out into your right fingertips, anchoring your right hip down. Take a breath. Walking your hands back to center and over to the right. Reaching out into the left fingertips, anchoring the left hip down. Full body breath. And coming back to center. Lifting up. Mosey your feet forward to meet your hands. Soft bend through your knees, lay your belly over your thighs. Turning your palms up and let your head hang heavy, your upper body hanging nice and heavy, and ragdoll rocking from side to side. And come back to center. Start to straighten out into your legs, not going into a full lift, just enough to stretch and open through the backs of your legs. If you need to still keep bending through your knees this early in your practice, go ahead. I'm going to cradle the elbows in the hands and just hang forward in a standing forward fold. So again, just that invitation to make it as active or as passive as you like. If you're going for a more active version, lift and scoop through the belly and actively lengthen through your spine, drawing the crown of your head down toward the floor. If you're going into a more soft and passive position, soft bend through the knees and just let everything hang. Soft through your belly, soft through the spine. One more breath here. your hands. Slowly, slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. The head is the last to come up. All right, getting ready for some nice, slow and floaty, melty kind of sun salutations. So to make them feel a little bit slow and melty, instead of really expanding out and kind of accentuating the extension and the movement and the tempo, we're going to go more into gliding, and you can roll through your joints if you like. You can take a little longer to get from one pose to the next. Slow down into your breath. Hang out a little longer wherever it feels good. And sometimes it's not a physical feeling. Sometimes it's like a psychological, spacious feeling that just feels good, or like an emotion comes up and you just need to be there a bit longer. That's what we're going to work into. Not just a regular sun salute, guys. This is jam-packed. So let's see what we find. All right, so standing at the top of your mat in Tadasana, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling, slide your hands up your shins, flat back. Offer your heart center forward. Exhale, folding forward. Hands to the floor and either jumping or stepping back into plank position. Drawing in through your belly, squeeze your buttocks. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, going into a gentle cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Knees to the floor, tuck your toes. Lifting back into downward dog. Taking your time to come into the pose and then holding for 3 breaths. And if you feel you want to take your bolster back in for your 3 breaths, go ahead. It's just a little extra moving it in and out when we go through the cycle of the sun salutation. All right, from here, getting ready to jump or step your feet forward. And inhale. Flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back into plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, lifting back into downward dog. Maybe a soft bend in the knees. One more breath here. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, and jump or step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Settling in and finding your breath. And looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, let's go through a little standing sequence now. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back into plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, downward dog. And just taking your time, checking that your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Press the floor away, roll the upper arms in toward each other. Lift into the hips and lengthen down into your heels. So we're going to go through a bit of a balancing sequence now, but really try to just come from an internal place. Gently focus at a point in front of you. Take your time and just explore the space around you as you move your body. Inhale, raising the right leg up. Exhale, taking your foot forward and starting in high lunge. So stacking your shoulders above your hips, lengthen into that back heel. Raise your arms up. And soften down into your front thigh. If it feels more comfortable for tonight's session, you can drop your back knee down. Couple more breaths here. All right. Getting ready to take flight and just taking it breath by breath, step by step as you move into the pose, and stopping when it starts to feel stressful or uncomfortable. Full permission to not push tonight. So inhale, taking your shoulders forward, shifting your weight forward over your front foot. Keeping a soft bend in that standing leg, and then begin to float the back leg up and reach back into your fingertips. Chest is lifted, shoulders down and back. And exhaling, we're going to wrap the back leg behind the front knee, bringing the left toes to the right side and lowering down into a seated position, getting ready for a seated spinal twist. Twisting first to the right, placing your right hand behind you, turning to look over your right shoulder. Taking your time to come into the twist. And if you feel you can go further, taking your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Soften through your belly and lift through your spine. Slowly return to center, staying seated where you are, going into an open twist now. Taking the right hand to the inside of the right ankle, left hand behind you. Turning to look to the left. And you'll notice when you go into this open twist, you've actually got more space and room to move. So lift and lengthen, but then also explore what happens if you take your shoulder back a little, lift through your lower back. Get into all those nooks and crannies of your spine. And come back to center. Take a little wiggle to reset. And option to transition right up into tree pose. If that feels like, hell no, you can just take your hands to the floor and find your way up to standing. If you're up for the challenge, shifting your weight forward onto your right foot, taking your weight into this right leg, and Left foot comes into the right inner thigh. And then inhale, taking the arms up, navel drawing in, grounding down through that right foot as you reach up into your hands, your fingers, the crown of your head. And slowly release. And just slowly taking your leg back, feeling it move through space, toes to the floor, hands to the floor, step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, knees to the floor. Take an extended child's pose, full breath, inhale, exhale. Lifting up through downward dog. Take a breath. So already feeling that motion and the movement, your leg floating through space, even as you raise your leg up. So having that awareness, inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, taking your foot forward, grounding down through the front foot, lengthen back into your back heel or knee to the floor. Shoulders above the hips. Inhale, float the arms up. And soften down into that front thigh. All right, when you're ready, transitioning into an arabesque. So shift your weight forward, toes to the floor, nice and steady through the standing leg. And then inhale, feeling that leg moving up through space. Open through the heart and chest. And when you're ready, exhale, taking the right thigh behind the left thigh, knee heading toward the floor, toes to the floor, and come to sit down. All right, right hand to the knee, left hand behind you, turning to look over your left shoulder. Cross body twist to start and gradually moving deeper into the twist. Maybe elbow to the outside of your knee. Staying with your breath. And release. Going into an open twist now. So spiraling around to the right, placing your left hand to the inside of your left ankle, right hand behind you, and turning to look over your right shoulder. And feel free to explore this position as well by taking your right hand back a little, leaning back into your shoulder or lifting into your belly and your lower back. And release back to center. Take a little wiggle through your spine. All right, and getting ready to journey up into tree now. So either supporting yourself to come up and stand, or shifting forward onto that left foot. Start to reverse out of the pose the way we came in, and then taking your right foot to the left inner thigh. Floating the arms up above the head. And steadying your gaze and steadying your breath. And slowly release, taking your awareness with your back leg. Toes to the floor. Hands to the floor, either side of your front foot. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale. Coming back through child's pose again. Reaching forward into your fingertips, softening your hips to your heels. And inhale. Lifting back up into downward dog. Take a breath. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. And just one more standing sequence. Inhale. Reaching up. Exhale. Folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step back into plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Holding here for 3 breaths. If you're feeling nice and stable in the pose, then trying to cultivate softness through your mental landscape. Finding that balance of effort and ease. Inhale, raise your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and spin your back foot down at a 45-degree angle, bending through the front knee. Inhale, coming up into warrior 1. So we're going to go speaking on or touching on finding the balance of effort and ease. Just really try to get grounded through your feet, but lift through your upper body, creating that effort and ease kind of feeling where you're applying effort as needed, and then everything else can feel nice and relaxed. So with our arms, we're just going to allow them to be soft, bending through your elbows, opening up gently through your palms, and allowing them to kind of hang down into your shoulder joints so that you get a nice relaxed stretch through the chest and shoulders. And then release, clasping your hands behind you. Rolling your shoulder blades in toward each other, raising the arms up, folding forward over the front leg. But instead of trying to hold it with your strength, see if you can just actually let your upper body rest, torso resting on the thigh, taking your arms up, nice big stretch. And inhale, coming back up. Exhale, if you like, you can swivel your feet that way. Otherwise, release your hands, step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhale, step your foot forward. Spin your back foot down at 45 degrees, bending through the front knee. Inhale up into warrior 1. Grounded through the feet, lifted through the spine, reaching the arms up, then exhale. Hanging down into the shoulders, soft through the elbows, palms open and receptive. Pressing the forearms back, then release. Clasping your hands behind you, shoulders working in toward each other, and fold forward. Torso resting on your thigh, taking your arms up and over. And inhale, lift up. Release, hands to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, come back through downward dog. Looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up. Taking your time. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, inhale, finding our way down to the floor. We're just going to exhale, hands to heart center, and then release, going through a bit of a journey. So, I mean, you can just clasp your hands together behind your back if you like, but if you want to go on a bit of a shoulder, ooey gooey journey, you can release arms, peeling open through your chest, soft bend through your knees, and then wrap the arms behind you, interlocking your hands. And fold forward, melting forward, taking the arms up and over, letting your head hang heavy. option to straighten out through the legs. More relaxed version is to just keep the knees bent and belly to the thighs. 2 more breaths here. And inhale, leading up with your hands. Going all the way up to stand. Release. Relax. Shake it all out for a moment. And let's flow down to sitting. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale. Hands to the floor. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, jump or step back into plank. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Noticing how your downward dog feels this far into your practice. Now that your tissues are a little bit more warmed up, your mind is a little bit more relaxed. And one more full breath. And looking between your hands, jump or step your feet forward. And come down to sit. All right. So for our next pose, if you can have 2 blocks and your bolster available. I'll go side on so you can see the setup. And you just have to be really careful that you get this set up in a way that it feels stable. I'm going to go legs out in seated wide angle pose. Doesn't even have to be a really deep stretch for this pose. It can just be legs out wide and angle your bolster, angle your block under your bolster so that your bolster is propped up to meet your head, and then you can hang forward. So you kind of got to chock it in at an angle, 2 blocks. Oh, yes. And folding forward. All right. This, as soon as I got here, my mind just went like, gone. Nothing, no cues. Sorry. I hope you're getting the same feeling. All right, we'll do a couple more breaths with our head to the side, and then we'll turn our head to the other side. But I think this pose needs no cues. That's the beauty and the joy of it. Just nothing, just let go. When you're ready, take your hands to the block that is propped on an angle, just to hold it in place. Lift yourself up just enough to turn your head to the other side. And then same again, just let go, relax. Staying here for another couple of breaths. There's actually no point to this pose other than relaxing, other than simply dropping into that really nice parasympathetic state of your nervous system. A rest and digest state. Okay, slowly start making your way out of the pose. And let's set our props aside. and draw your legs in. Give them a little hug just to close off through your hips. And come over onto your knees. So this is a nice little closed off position as well, where we're just going to go from child's pose, taking the crown of our head to the floor and lifting up. So you'll get a little bit of compression here. There's actually a mama point here right at the top of your head, crown of your head. So just lifting enough of your body that you can feel a little bit of pressure there, but you're not placing body weight on your neck. And just relax here. Placing your hands wherever they feel comfortable. Some people like to interlock their hands and make a little bowl, and the back of your head kind of rests in your palms. We're just going to stay here for about 4 or 5 breaths. One more breath here. And slowly release, coming back to child's pose. Stacking your fists on top of one another and resting your third eye on top of your fists. Releasing through your neck and allowing everything to kind of balance out after being inverted. And now slowly coming up. Now, this one we can bring our bolster back in just a moment. So taking our legs out in front and just reaching over to the left and kind of read your body on how it feels. We're really just trying to stretch through the side of the torso. So if you like, you can just take your hands over to the side, trying to keep your legs to the floor, and you might already feel a stretch here, but you can also relax and just softly bend through your knees, allowing your hip to roll up, and play with dropping down into your ribs, or even reaching into your hands a little to kind of roll through the rib cage, rolling through the side here, just working into that whole side of your torso. And then up and over to the other side. And maybe softly rolling. It's kind of like an intuitive stretch, like, you know, sometimes you're sitting on the floor or getting out of bed and you know where you can feel it and you just want to move into that area. It's that kind of same approach. And then come back to center. Then I'm going to take our bolster. And similar, but laying into it. And depending on how it feels for you, you can either take your arm underneath your head or the arm back, and then either legs to the floor or allowing that hip to roll up and over. Just for a couple of breaths. And of course, all of this lovely contact with the floor, with your bolster. Feels so grounding. And switching the bolster over to the other side and rolling over to the other side. One more breath here, just letting go. And slowly come up. Hug your knees into your chest for a moment. All right. Coming down to lay on our back. Almost toward the end of our practice now. You're going to go into a supported bridge. If you want to add extra height, you could also take the bolster over the top of your blocks if you like. We're going to go 2 blocks under your sacrum, and coming into bridge pose, both feet to the floor, hip distance apart. Shoulders down away from your ears, arms down by your side. I'm going to go palms up for this. Let it be really nice and passive. If you find that your knees are trying to kind of splay out to the side just because of physics or whatever, take your feet out a little bit wider so that they drop in and kind of help relax through your hips. Holding this position. Letting go into your breath, closing your eyes. Yes, yes, yes. And in contrast to regular bridge pose, where you can feel the entire back of your body working, just noticing how your entire body feels completely passive. And noticing how in this nice, calm and relaxed state, how easy it is to take full, relaxed, wholesome breath. One more breath here. All right, slowly coming out of the pose. Press into your feet, hands to your blocks. Let's just remove one block to start with. Lower your sacrum back to the single block. You can rock your knees a little from side to side if you like. And knees back to center. Press into your feet, gently raise the hips, remove that second block. Okay, and props out of the way. We're going to go into plow pose. And with the same invitation as the rest of our poses have been this evening, there's formal plow, where you're really reaching up through the hips, lengthening through your spine, reaching back into your toes. And then there's the delicious, gonna just curl up into myself version, which you can go for that one tonight if you like. So the main thing to just always be aware of is to not be compressing through your neck. So try not to dump all of your weight into your neck. And inhale, take your hands under your hips, lift your legs halfway up and over, and then let it just be your journey, your own journey into the pose. Gradually taking your toes up and over. You can let your knees be soft if you like, or legs straight, whatever feels most comfortable and welcoming for you tonight. You might even like to take your arms back overhead. Fingers to meet your toes. Or hands resting on your calf muscles. Staying here for about another 3 to 5 breaths. When you're ready, slowly exiting the pose, taking your time, hands to your hips, carefully lowering your spine back to the floor, hips to the floor, and feet to the floor. If you're a sucker for going into Shavasana after those kind of nice inverted poses, go ahead and take a little mini Shavasana, let everything balance out. both feet to the floor, rocking your knees from side to side in a very relaxed windscreen wiper motion. Good. Bring your knees back to center. And with bent knees, feet to the floor, take your hands underneath your buttocks, palms down. Press into your forearms. We're going to go into just a modified, so not all the way crown of the head to the floor, just a lift through the chest. Press your forearms into the floor, coming into a half or modified fish. So lift and lift so that you're opening up through your throat, just as a tiny little counter pose to our plow. Lift and open through your sternum. Exhale, melt back down to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. And one last spinal twist. My hair. And then we're going to go legs up the wall. So right knee across your body. Option here. In the mood of really letting go and utilizing our bolsters tonight. If you want to take your bolster to your left side, take your right knee up and over to the left and take your whole body with it. So you're actually kind of lying on your side, and then the bolster's underneath your knee, and relax. If you like, you can take your upper arm underneath your face, your cheek. Nice. Let's roll with our bolster. Give it a hug over to the other side. And then taking your left knee over across your bolster to the right side and right upper arm underneath your face. And relax. All right. Come back to center. Now for Shavasana, we're going to have about 2 to 3 minutes. You can either take your legs up the wall or come into classical Shavasana, whichever one you prefer. You might like to go bolster underneath the knees, or if you're going legs up the wall, you could even do bolster under your hips with your legs up. Wherever you are, turning your palms up, shoulders down away from your ears. And relax. So I'm just going to leave you be quietly for the next couple of minutes. And just noticing how your mind and body feel after your practice. Observing if a significant amount of any potential pending stress that your mind and body may have been storing has melted away. Coming back into your breath. Starting to take some slow, conscious breaths, filling your lungs. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest as you inhale and exhale. Begin to wriggle your fingers and toes, rocking your head from side to side. And rolling over onto your side. Or if you want to stay lying down for kirtan, that's okay too. If you'd like to come up and sit, making your way back up to sitting. Just a few minutes of chanting together, joining in as you feel comfortable. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One last time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, a big good night, bringing our palms together, bowing to one another, and bowing once more to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul. Oh, and a big dreamy, squishy hug, wishing you guys all sweet dreams and a nice, deep, regulated nervous system sleep. Thank you so much. Lovely to practice with you.
Thank you, Sammy. Okay.
Good night, Leah. Night, Sam. Bye.